Don't talk. We'll get ready.
All right. Good morning from Crawfordsville High School and the Athenian baseball field, where today your Athenians will host the 35th annual Athenian Baseball Invitational Tournament. And this year the Athenians are bringing in a couple of new ball clubs here. And we're looking forward for a full day of baseball here as no rain in the forecast. This is Dan Welliver, along with
your one and only Jeff Nelson.
Yeah, Jeff, thank you very much. Well, we have the PA coming on, so we're going to turn it over to the PA, Jeff.
Sounds good.
Here are your starting lineups for Game 1. Leading off for the Tigers, the second baseman, number 2, Javier Feliciano.
I'll be right back.
Batting second, the third baseman, number 13, DeAndre Algie. Batting third, the catcher, number 23, Zach Bierman McDonald. Batting fourth, the shortstop, number 5, Amon Williams. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 8, Brandon Dodds. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 1, Amir Jackson. Jackson will be hitting for left fielder, number 7, Jalen Smith. Batting seventh, the starting pitcher, number 21, Jose Gonzalez. Batting eighth, the center fielder, number 3, Colin Wilson. And batting ninth, the right fielder, number 7, Christopher Rojas. The Tigers are coached by Mr. Matt Turner. And now, the starting lineup for your Crawfordsville Athenians. Leading off, the first baseman, number 21, Will Kellerman. Batting second, the second baseman, number 5, Carson Scott. Batting third, the center fielder, number 20, Josh Blackburn. Batting cleanup, the third baseman, number 34, Austin Warren. Batting fifth, the starting pitcher, number 24, Big Cam Saunders. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 6, Jake Decker. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 8, Cale McCarty. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 23, Caleb Coons. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 29, Andrew Martin. Your Athenians are coached by Mr. John Froge. He is assisted by Rhett Welliver, Tony Bean, and Daryl Hobson. Today's veteran umpire crew consists of Mark Maxwell, Mike DuBois, Steve Hoffman, and Darren Haas. Please direct your attention to the American flag located in right field. At this time, the IHSAA and the Crawfordsville Community School Corporation invite you to please stand and remove your caps as we honor the United States of America with our national anthem. Let's play Athenian baseball.
All right, great job by our PA, David Raynard, once again. Hope you got those starting lineups, and we're ready to play ball. Athenians will be the home team, and we have a 6-2 Athenian record coming into game number 9. Athenians going 2-2 as they played in Tennessee. Coming back home and really playing some good baseball, getting great pitching and timely hitting. and 4-0 as we've come back to Indiana here, Jeff.
Coach, it's been amazing. You talked about the trip down to Tennessee, which is always a great way to start the season because you get to see some good competition and make sure that you get into weather where you can normally always play, except for maybe a little rain. What has been incredible is the first 2 weeks of the regular season for this Athenian squad. Though the big question mark, at least from a lot of us who stand a bit on the outside, watch a lot of Crawfordsville baseball, watch a lot of area and county baseball and conference baseball. The question we had over the winter coming into the season: can the Crawfordsville Athenians, we know we can hit the ball. We got a lot of veteran players, a lot of smart ball players, well coached, et cetera, et cetera. Can they get some timely pitching? Well, about 3 no-hitters later, I think at least the early part of the season, that question has been completely answered in the affirmative.
Well, I was over at Tri-West Thursday, and really I thought that was the sharpest I'd maybe seen Warren throw. His control was just right on all the way. Decker came in with 2 perfect innings, so great pitching there. If
this team can come up with that guy, whether it's Warren, whether it's Saunders, whether it's Kellerman, whether it's who you pick the name of the guy. If this team can come up with that guy that you can give the ball to when you've got an absolutely must-win game, say you've got to go get us a 1-0 or a 2-1 win. The state championship teams had that guy. If Crawfordsville can get that guy that can give the ball to every big game, and then have the supporting pitching staff behind him, this team can go a long, long way.
Well, and it might be a little early to talk about it, but we actually do have a possible ace in the hole. On top of that, we have talked about it a little bit, and I don't want to make too much of that, but
that's a big story for down the road.
It really is, yes.
First batter is Javier Feliciano.
Yeah.
I managed I could write as fast as Dave could talk, so I think I got the names here.
That's good. You write faster than I do, for sure. Count 1 ball, 1 strike on Feliciano. Here's the pitch, swung on, pop foul, straight back over the backstop, out of play.
Back at us.
1 ball, 2 strikes. With 2 strikes, I see Austin Warren backing off of the grass, maybe just a little bit, but he was maybe anticipating a bunt. Here's a pitch swung on and missed. So 1 batter and 1 strikeout, and boy, we've been pleasantly looking at that happen kind of repeatedly, really.
The third baseman, DeAndre Alge.
All right, here's the third baseman.
DeAndre Alge.
Algee.
Saunders is going to loosen him up just a little bit here.
Yeah. First pitch moves him out of the way.
Alge is a .333 hitter on the season.
Well, Cam Saunders got some great pitching stats going for him here as he throws a strike over the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Alge leads Riverside with 9 runs scored and leads the team with 6 hits.
6 hits, okay. Here's a pitch inside. Cam throwing hard. 2 balls, 1 strike. Late arriving crowd here today, Jeff. But
I'll have to stop for an extra cup of coffee.
Well, that and maybe grab a little extra clothing. Here's the pitch taken for a strike right at the knees in the middle of the plate. So 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Be no arguing with the umpires today. I think there's about 150 years of experience out there on the field.
Right. Here's a swing and a miss and something off speed and swing over the top of it. So Alge goes down swinging for out number 2.
That's going to bring up Zach Berman McDonald, sophomore. He is the second leading hitter by average. He is hitting .364 of the season. He does have 4 hits and 4 runs batted in, but has not scored a run yet this year.
Okay. First pitch right there, swung and missed. Riverside University from Milwaukee, Jeff, and here's the pitch taken down. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike, and I do believe that sets a record for a team traveling the longest distance to Athenian baseball field.
To at least this invitational.
Here's the pitch down. 2 balls, 1 strike.
You got to get somebody in from out of state, even to come in from Illinois or Ohio or Tennessee. It's still a bit of a trek, plus on top of all the other things they got to do with their associations. It's glad to have them here.
Well, yeah. Today had played 6 ball games, and, that's pretty good. Maybe if Milwaukee.
Yes.
We've had a pretty good week of weather here for us this week.
Well, we've gotten all our games played. That's the most important part. Everybody north and west of everywhere here is sure haven't.
Here's the 2-1 pitch, swung on a miss, and that'll even the count. So early in the day, it's deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Talked to my mom in South Dakota yesterday about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She said there was a foot of new snow on the ground. It was blowing 30 miles an hour, and she couldn't see across the street.
Here's a pitch in the dirt. So for the first time, the count goes full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. The head coach for Riverside is Matt Turner. We're going to assume he's down at third base because I don't really know. Didn't get introduced to these coaches, Jeff.
He was the guy in the orange coat that came out for the umpires meeting.
Here's a ground ball out in front and hit foul off of the leg of Caleb Coons. I think he was trying to get his glove on the ball, but the ball took a kind of a sideways hop off the grass there and got him in the leg. But count remains full.
I think it came off the edge of the plate too, Coach, and then it got over to the grassy area, and then it was spinning really hard, and it ended up being the best thing for everybody involved. Here would have been an easy out, but Caleb probably would have had a little trouble handling that spinning ball.
Here's the pitch right down the heart of the plate. Strike 3. So that one strikeout looking. McDonald's takes the call third. So in the top half of the first inning for the Tigers from Riverside University, not University College now.
Nope.
That's the University High School, and they are located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They come up with no runs or no hits and nobody left on base. Athenians coming to bat. Well, the Athenians 2-0 in the conference play, which is always great to get off to that kind of start conference-wise. Athenians playing Tri-West this week. A 11-1 ball game on Tuesday, 10-0 on Thursday.
The combined no-hitter on Thursday, as you mentioned just a little bit ago. Coach, I know that some of our viewers from a long way away are very comfortable and familiar with the Sagamore Conference. I covered North-South baseball, 2 different games this week, so was very, very surprised at the large score, at the 10-run, the big scores and the 10-run rule. Tri-West down a little bit this year?
Well, Tri-West, I believe, graduated 8 starters.
They did graduate a bunch of guys.
And maybe they're 1 and 2 pitchers.
Yep.
And so that is kind of a hard make-up situation for anybody.
Okay.
And so I think that's the general explanation would be that just a loss of
so it's just a tough start. Just a tough start.
Right.
Okay.
Right. You never know about the conference. We look around, and Danville's very much in the same situation because they graduated heavy numbers and was a strange team last year. Terrible start for them, and at the end of the season, they almost couldn't lose.
That's exactly right. And I know that part of the deal last year with Danville was that they elected to not run their 1 and 2 pitchers a couple times because they were involved in their Hendricks County tournament over there. And because of the setup of that thing, they ended up using guys a couple times that they saved for this bigger their county tournament was more important than their conference play. And that set up their pitching for later in the season, and then they did end up playing really, really well.
Yeah. Well, they'll bring up Will Kellerman here to start the bottom half of inning number 1. Will having a very good year at this point offensively. Well, you've got the stats, I think, in front of you right there for Will.
I've got a few numbers. He's
hitting pitch up and in.
Hitting .407 early on, 11 hits, couple of doubles. It's interesting, though. He hasn't scored a run.
Okay. Yeah, that is. I didn't realize that. Well, here's the second pitch taken for a strike. Will runs very well, and left-handed batter gets out of the box. He's one of those guys that bunts pretty well, so he can get a lot of those kind of small ball type hits. Here's a pitch. Here's a ground ball to short. He up with it, bobbles the ball. The throw goes right on line. So Will goes down 6-3 for the first out here in the bottom of inning number 1.
Williams did a nice job of recovering from the quick hop. The ball had a lot of topspin on it, popped off his glove a little bit, but he recovered and got a very, very, very speedy Kellerman down the run.
Okay. Well, talk about small ball hits. Here's a guy that probably epitomizes that kind of game, and Carson Scott. Carson bunts even more than Will. Let's put it this way, in past history he has. But they both got several bunt hits this year already.
Yep.
Here's the pitch, and Carson does square, but the pitch is up and away and goes to the backstop.
Carson's a .483 hitter on the season, 14 hits. And I lied about Kellerman. He doesn't have any home runs. He has scored 7 runs.
I
was looking at the wrong digit on your stat sheet.
I think that could be right, but I didn't pull my sheet out.
Yep, nope. I was writing too fast from your sheet, and I put it in the wrong spot. See, he does have some runs. And Carson does also.
Oh, yeah.
He scored 8 times.
Here's a pitch under the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Top half of this batting order, the top 4 guys, using odd numbers with the 9 hitters, really, really, really hitting the ball well. Everybody hitting in the close to 300 or over 400. Carson
takes the ball with him. Now first base is going to be almost unoccupied. The second baseman kind of got there, but he would have been late. And now Riverside discussing that situation between themselves. About 4 players out there. So, you got it, I got it, uno.
That's right. Coach, the fun part about doing this on television is that our fans watching saw exactly what just happened. Carson put the ball in the absolutely perfect spot because it made the pitcher go for the ball.
Yeah,
the first baseman thought the pitcher wasn't going to get to it, so he went for the ball. The second baseman didn't realize quickly enough that both guys were going, so he was late getting over to cover. So it was a classic of, like you said, I got it, you got it. Oh, nobody's got it.
Here's Carson Scott down to second right away as Josh Blackburn squared as if to bunt, but he was taking all the way. It was a fake bunt steal call, and the catcher didn't handle the ball cleanly.
And Scott had such a jump.
He had a big one, yep.
Oh, man.
So 1 ball, no strikes. Now Blackburn with a chance to drive in the first run of this ball game.
Yep, he's a .240 hitter. He has 6 RBIs. See if he can make it 7.
Josh, one of the more aggressive swingers at the plate for the Athenians. Here's a fake throw to second base, and Carson dives in head first. That second baseman out there reminds me a little bit of myself. He might have been an inch or 2 bigger, certainly, when I was a sophomore, but small fella out there at second base.
You wore the small or medium size?
I tell you what, I wore as small as I could get, and it was still too big. 1954.
Yep.
Bring her up.
Diminutive, I think, is the correct word.
Oh, yeah, you got that right. Here's the pitch. Swung on a miss. Ball guy by the catcher, and actually, I think Scott had already made up his mind he was going anyway. Down to third base, but now we need Blackburn to put the ball in play. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and Riverside going to have a little conference with the mound as
one of the pitching
coach.
Yes. Coming out. And Coach, you see the Athenians, on a very regular basis. I would guess that Carson was probably given a steal sign the first time. I'm wondering if he saw something out of this pitcher, because he got such great jumps on both. Is there something in his motion? Did Carson go on his own that second time?
I'd say, first of all, just in general, and a lot of times we don't think that way, but it is really easier to steal third, I think, particularly in high school baseball, than it is to steal second. And you say, well, now it's a longer throw to second, and that's certainly true, but your lead at second base is more comfortable, and the pitcher is also in a more disadvantage to really read the runner. His head has to shift totally back and forth from second to home plate, and you get your gap in there, you can see your timing and make that happen. Well, we need the ball put in play here by Josh Blackburn. Here's the pitch and taken up. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of inning number 1 here at the Invitational. Athenians trying to put a run on the board here early.
If you just tuned in, just getting back from breakfast, There's ball 3. Cam Saunders struck out 3 in the top of the first.
Yeah, 2 swinging, I believe, and 1 looking, and Cam looking strong. Coach Froge down at third, Coach Welliver at first base, and Jeff, don't let me forget, we'll run through our umpires here. Here's ground ball to short. That ought to bring the run. The shortstop stays down on it with his glove, I should say.
Yeah.
His body came up a little bit, but he got it in the glove. On to first base. Blackburn 6-3, but RBI for Josh.
We did mention that. That's his seventh RBI of the season, and I know unless it's the first time you've been watching Crawfordsville baseball on YouTube, how traditional is this? A bunt single, an infield bunt single, stolen base, infield ground ball, scores a run.
Yep, small ball. All right, stepping in is
Austin Warren.
Austin is wearing number 34, and he's been, I'm trying to think, he has been in the cleanup position for the last few ball games.
Mm-hmm. Hitting .240, 6 hits, 5 walks, a half dozen RBIs also.
Here's a pitch off the outside corner, ball 2.
Clean slate on the bases for Crawfordsville. On the mound is, I believe,
number 21.
Yep, that is Jose Gonzalez. Yep,
he's only a sophomore,
yep,
too.
4.2 innings pitched, but he does have 13 runs against him and 10 earned, so that's second highest on the squad.
Swung on and missed at a high breaking ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Austin Warren really has good power. And I think he's making better contact this year. Here's a swing and a miss, another high pitch up around the letters, and count now evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. But he is one of our players that can certainly generate enough power to drive it out of the ballpark. Here's the pitch, swung on a miss, as the ball appeared to be a little inside, Jeff, but he trying to protect there and couldn't catch up with it.
Yep, well, he went up to get a cut at it, and he ended up getting 3 cuts at it, and that just first time through the batting lineup. Some hitters take a couple pitches to see, and some guys go up there and say, "Let's go swing at a couple of them and see what's happening." And Warren didn't win that battle.
No. Well, anyway, the Athenians come up with 1 run on 1 base hit. So after 1 full inning to play, your Athenians lead Riverside High School by a score of 1-0. I don't know, Jeff, I don't think we gave the weather report here, but I think it's 45 degrees.
45
at
degrees.
Game start.
Looking at, I didn't hear what Dave said on the wind. It's not much.
It's out of the northwest maybe, and really not a whole lot of effect on the game right now.
Sticking my finger up in the air, I'm going to guess it's about 5 to 10 miles an hour at the most.
I think you're right. No, I think at times it whips up to above 5, but certainly not more than 10. Yeah.
Last night I covered this.
My gosh.
Yep. Last night it was so windy out. I know you were at the track meet at the Charger Relays, which historically always generates the worst weather in the county in the season. It was cold and windy. It wasn't wet though for a rare time. And I was at baseball at Southmont, and the wind was blowing way out to right field. Neither team got very many up in the air, but Southmont did get 2 of them up that just blew right over the heads of a couple of Fountain Central. One over the right fielder and one got in between right and center as they generated their 4th win of the week. They went 4-0 this week.
Yes, they did. Got good pitching.
They got really good pitching. The young Laster boy threw real well last night.
FC kind of down this year.
They're struggling for hits. The Chargers are struggling for hits too. South beat North Montgomery twice this week, and North just fell apart. I don't know if you heard. They gave up 15 runs in the last 2 at-bats to lose at Covington last night.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, and 12 of those were unearned.
We're caught.
Yep.
Going to be safe. That time we did not get they used this, and really almost identical bunt, Jeff.
Yep.
And Teague, I believe it was.
Yep. That was Williams, a man Williams, number 5.
Oh, pardon me. Okay, I looked at the wrong number.
And that time too, Coach, what ended up happening is a little bit. Everybody was trying to head for where they were supposed to go, but the ball was in the tall grass. It looks like it hasn't been cut in the last couple of days. So the ball got chewed up in the speed there, and when it slowed down, everybody had to change where they were going. And when you put a perfect bunt down, you can bunt for a base hit.
Yeah, young man had a little speed down the baseline too. So might be a possible steal situation. And he fakes going. Here's a pitch down and in, ball 1.
Williams, the guy who just got the bunt single, is the leading hitter for Riverside University at .438. That was his
7th, 8th, because I remember he had 7.
Yep.
Here he goes. Swung on, miss. Throw down by Caleb and cannot get the swipe on him. Throw just a little bit low, come up just a little short, and good job, though, by Cale McCarty. He did not do an Olay. If he goes and stays back at the bag, then he short hops, and you get in that Olay situation, who knows where the ball ends up. But early on here in the top of the second, Riverside with a scoring threat, runner at second and nobody down. Count even at the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike.
That was Williams' 4th stolen base of the season.
Okay.
As he's retying his shoe out there.
So Brandon Dodds is your batter here. Here's the throw to second base, and he's in. Boy, I tell you what, if the throw had been down a little bit, I believe we had him.
Williams is real aggressive out there. You can see on the monitor, he is getting a gigantic lead. So they may try this play one more time.
So Cam working out of the stretch. Here's a pitch lined up over his head. Second baseman has it on to first base. Good play that time by Carson Scott. He had to go pretty close to the bag there at second base and recovered enough to get a good throw to first.
Yeah, Coach, I don't know if you saw that right off of his bat. That ball had looked like my 7-iron. It just had a little fishtail there.
Yes,
it fishtailed away from Cam's glove, and then the infield had to do a nice job to recover.
Here's a swing and a miss. This is Amir Jackson at the plate.
This is the guy Cam wants. He's a 167 hitter.
Might look for a squeeze here maybe, huh? We'll see. Saunders to the plate. This one's high. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball gets loose. Good backup. Good backup there by Cale. Cam maybe a little bit careless there when letting the ball get by. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 down. Here's a pitch to Jackson. Swung on and missed. A breaking ball that looked like you might throw that one again.
I'm thinking as you're using those words, throw this again.
Yeah. Well, typically here a lot of times we'll throw the high fastball and see if they'll chase up, but I don't know. I think we stay with that. Here's a fake to third base. Runner not really that far down the line.
And I'm sure you have explained the difference, the new rule this year about making sure you got to be off the rubber and you can't do a genuine fake.
Yeah, same basic rule that the big league put in about 3 years. Here's a pitch that stays just a little bit inside. Count even 2-2. Athenian infield in all the way around.
Mike DuBois behind the plate. I think he looked at that with his right eye instead of his left eye. I think otherwise he would have called it a strike.
There's a pitch. This is down and away. So Cam, situation here, don't want to lose this guy. You mentioned it, Jackson not showing a lot of success at the plate so far this year.
He struck out 3 times. He's the number 6 hitter. This is the guy you do not want to have on the bases anyway.
Saunders gets this one inside, so he puts Jackson on.
Because the bad part about it, Coach, that I didn't talk about, the reason you don't want Jackson on base, he leads the team in steals.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, he's 7 of 8.
Hey, and at first and third, we're probably going to just relinquish this anyway with a fast guy at third. So, yeah.
This is Gonzalez up to a 231 hitter. This is Jose Gonzalez.
Swings and pops it foul. Going to go out of place. Close, but out. So Gonzalez with 1 ball, no strikes.
So after cruising through with 3 strikeouts in the first inning, Cam has kind of got himself a little bit of a more difficult situation here. He's bunt single to start it. We've got a ground out, and now a walk. Has got a couple guys on base.
Well, they earned a hit. You hate to give them the base on ball, particularly in that situation. But, runner not going. Here's a strike on the inside corner, so Cam jumps out ahead 0-2 right away.
That was a big surprise. I figured Williams was going to be flying on the motion there.
You and me both.
So now do you put him in motion? Do you put
time out at the plate?
Yeah. Do you send him now with an 0-2 count, thinking that Crawfordsville may throw through and try and get the double play?
Well, you know what? I honestly, I don't think we can coordinate our young catcher that well at this point.
Okay.
I mean, I just don't think from the dugout to him we're going to try to do that much.
Okay. And on top of it, he is their fastest guy. He does have their most steals, so maybe you just give it up.
He's going. Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed. So out number 2 as Gonzalez goes down swinging. Rack him up. I heard that.
That's right. This will bring up Colin Wilson, number 3, a sophomore, hitting 273 on the season. 3 hits, 4 RBI, 6 runs scored. Pretty nice numbers for the number 8 guy.
I'd say. All right, runners at second, third, 2 down. Young catcher behind the plate, Coons, needs to keep everything in front. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled.
Foul ball.
Hit off of something there, Jeff, but I'm not sure what.
Maybe a couple something. Nobody's wincing, so I'm guessing it came off of a shin guard of a catcher or an umpire.
Like a ball I saw earlier this week, Puig playing right field for Cincinnati, went over, ball went off his glove, went onto the wall, came back, hit him in the shoulder, went back, hit something else, hit him in the... Here's a swing and a miss. Nice pitch that time, down the way by Cam there, so he's ahead 0-2. Anyway, Puig finally ended up with it in his glove and showed it like he had a catch, but umpire was kind of all over that. Here's the 0-2. Taken for strike 3. Something breaking down around the knees, and Cam works out of the situation as he strikes out Wilson.
And 2 left.
So in the inning 4, the Riverside Tigers, they came up with no runs. They did get 1 hit, and they had 2 runners left on base.
And the big thing, again, as the coaches always talk about, no errors. Riverside, earned their spots. They got got the bunt single and a stolen base and moved a runner. Got the walk at the other stolen base, but they were stranded. So two ducks on the pond left by the visiting Tigers. You're talking about how far they had to come to drive. I mean, the farthest away from for a visiting team here at the complex, they probably had to leave a day early.
Oh, I'm sure
with all the bad weather that was rolling through the plains, and because I did hear reports that there was a lot of snow up in Green Bay, which is about 2 hours north of Milwaukee.
Right. Yeah, I know they had snow, but it'd be interesting to find out how they did handle that. But a good trip for the kids there, just like it is for the Athenians when they go to Tennessee. And you run into different situations. We got a rain out that we'd planned to play in Evansville, but couldn't do that. And and then we had to change because of anticipated rain on the last game, and we ended up playing a team from Indiana.
Yep.
So I said 4-0 back in Indiana, but we're actually 5-0 against Indiana teams here.
Right. But the most important thing is to get some games played early in the season, and against some teams that you're not going to see. They're not WRC teams from around here. They're not Indianapolis teams. You could see in the playoffs. They're obviously not Sagamore Conference teams. So just a nice thing to get away and get some new looks, get some looks against some different pitchers, especially.
Right. Well, leading off the bottom half of inning number 2 is our pitcher for the Athenians, Cam Saunders. Came out of the number 5 slot.
Hitting just a little over 200 right now.
Here's something wide. You know, we don't want to pick on Blue or anything, but boy, down Tennessee, the one like that was a good example. One like that seemed like it was called a strike. I see. Well, we gotta mention Justin Duggar giving you the picture here, and he said that's a picture he had down there in Tennessee, but it was a different call. Here's a strike, so the count goes 2 balls and 1 strike on Cam Saunders.
Well, you're not going to get any better umpiring crew in the state of Indiana than the 3 guys we've got here today. Mike DuBois, who has at least 2 or 3 state championship games under his belt, is behind home plate 5 state championship games. Steve Hoffman is down at third base, and Darren Haas is down at first base. Haas has worked a bunch of state championship games. Steve has worked at least 1, and I know that the 2 guys in the bases have worked at least a couple of state football
Here's
championship
ball
games.
4, so yeah, we definitely are blessed to have these guys in the area here to officiate for us.
And sneaking a look up in the football press box is Mark Maxwell.
Oh yeah,
which means Maxie's going to be around here to work probably the next game with Griffith and Central Catholic.
He's got his uniform on, so he's going to work. That's for sure.
Jake Decker.
Well, I back quite a few years ago when I was helping Brian Norris with the softball, Maxie was doing a lot of her softball games.
Yes, he was. Yep. He is. He's pulled back a little bit. I don't think he's doing 7 games a week anymore. So, but he's still working a lot.
All right, Jake Decker at the plate. Jake playing right field.
He's a .350 hitter, off to a good start with a bat this season.
Here's a square, fake bunt, throws high, and easily, and good job that time. He took a good look at can I go, and I think with nobody out, you probably didn't want a chance at there. In fact, they pick it up and make a good throw, they're going to get you. So good job there by Cam Saunders. Jake Decker checking with Coach Froge now. We had a fake bunt. A lot of times here we'll like to go ahead and bunt the guy to third base.
It's 90 feet away is closer than 180 feet away.
Jake's been hitting pretty well, though. He's bunting, and he takes it up and in.
Little chin music there.
That was not a fake situation there, but he wisely pulled the bat back. Wisely pulled his head back, I might have mentioned.
That's right.
I guess we got a strike call on that, though. I don't know. Maybe the strike was on the first one. Did I miss that?
Yes, the strike.
That's right.
Yep.
Yep. Had to be. Well, we got 1 ball and 1 strike anyway, and a runner at second base. Jake Decker, your hitter. Here's a pitch, and he takes this one maybe just a little bit off the corner, but called a strike. Good big break on that pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Again, he's going to want to try and put the ball in play. Anything to the right side, moves Saunders closer to the home.
Here's a ground ball to short. Had a possible play. Here's a high throw to first, and it gets wide. Goes all the way to the fence, and that'll bring around Saunders, and Jake ends up at second base. So E6 on that one. Good job putting the ball in play, though. You put the ball in play, good things are going to happen.
A lot of times, especially in high school ball, Saunders committed to third base right away, as you saw on your screen, and he was caught in no man's land, so he just went. The shortstop elected to go ahead and try and make the throw, and he may have been just distracted, just a split, And
I'm sure it runs through his head,
right,
out there. Do it, but truthfully, I think he made the right play.
Oh, yes.
Had momentum kind of going that way, but anyway, advantage to the Athenians there. All right, McCarty squares of his butt, and he brings the first baseman and third baseman charging to the plate, and then the pitcher turns and takes a look at second.
McCarty is hitting .250 on the season, 5 hits.
Is it me? Here's a bunt attempt missed. Do you smell a grill?
Oh yes, I think Coach Gerald. And a couple of the dads fired up the grill. The wind is blowing. The wind's not blowing from the northwest. It's blowing from the concession stand.
All right, McCarty waiting. He shortens. He bunts foul. Didn't get his bat out in front of the plate far enough that time. So Cale behind on the count, 0-2. Checking with Coach Froge, do we stay with a bunt? Coach Froge does not let you off the hook by failure of bunting on the first 2 attempts.
Yep. McCarty does have 5 RBIs, even though he's only hitting 250. So he's able to get the ball in play. And
he's squaring. He's swinging. He grounds it foul to the left side.
He got the edge of the varnish on the edge of the horsehide there and got that one knocked foul.
Well, even though he squared that time, the corners didn't react. Mm-hmm. They weren't believing it, and rightfully so. Cale is playing some great shortstop, by the way.
Gosh.
He is just really looking like, as he really is now, an experienced shortstop. Yep. Here's the pitch, taken up and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's playing defense like his dad. His dad was one of the best defensive players. He played a lot of shortstop for Crawfordsville and played a lot of outfield, too.
Yeah, well, Matt was a blessed athlete. I noticed that Cale is running. Here's a ball fouled back over the press box. Cale is not a burner, but runs okay, but I just watching him so far this year, I don't know what numbers are on him, but I'm sure he's running faster than he was this time last year.
Sure.
Well, maturing up a little bit here.
Yeah, you just know which foot to start with, which foot to put in front of the other one a little bit regularly. Like I said, the best part about a freshman is he becomes a sophomore, pitch a little high. Best part about a sophomore, they become a junior.
Yep. Well, his daddy, I tell you, he was just athletically blessed. One of those guys had no trouble dunking a basketball, had the great speed.
Yep,
and
scored 47 points one night against Frankfurt. I was there for that one. That was a night.
Here's the pitch, taken up, 3 balls, 2 strikes. So good job at the plate here.
And, Coach, that's the one thing I was just going to give him. We've been complimenting Cale. He has learned to lay off. Last year he struck out on that pitch every time. Yeah. He does have 8 strikeouts, but he's laid off that pitch a lot better.
Squared around, but he's not bunting. Here's a pitch, and that hit him, so he becomes the first hit batter of the ball game.
Boy, and that was a fastball too. You can just know when it gets him right between the 2 numbers, and he just kind of wince back like that. You just know that's smart.
Athenians leading it here 2-0 as we bat in the bottom half of inning number 2.
Crawfordsville girls softball team leaving the complex. Are they heading for a game, or did they just have practice today? Just practice?
Practice.
Caleb Coons hitting 190 in the number 8 spot.
Well, Caleb, coming in as a sophomore here, has really done a great job. That's another young man we can talk about having the health problems, and Caleb has stepped in and really done a good. He squares the bunt. This pitch way wide.
Yes, there's a young man. There's a young man who has been literally promoted in a battlefield promotion. Your starting catcher projected for the last couple seasons all of a sudden goes down with possibly a season-ending, illness. Yeah. And so now your very inexperienced sophomore, is pressed into duty, and I'll give the kid a lot of credit. You know what? He has worked hard and has done a pretty darn good job so far.
Oh, he really has. Yeah. Oh, that's probably when he should have let it go. It's up high, but he fouls it off. And really, I've been impressed with his hustle. I've been impressed with his improvement since the first couple of games down in Tennessee.
Yep.
And, he's really stepped it up.
Yep. Well, there again, we talked about the McCarty lineage. And Charlie was a good baseball player.
Here's a bunt foul down the third base line. So the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
As we said, Caleb's hitting 190 on the season, 4 hits, got a double, 4 RBIs, only scored 1 run, walked once.
Well, with 2 strikes, let's see if the bunt stays on. Might not ask that with a young man, but he looks like he's going to. He's swinging, pulled it back, so.
No, you let him swing here to get something going, kind of build that confidence up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and you really don't want to put him in a position just to flat out fail on a 3rd strike bunt, I think. Here's the pitch. This is taken away. So, a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Caleb Coons, your batter. Athenians with runners on first and second. Already leading here by a score of 2-0. Nobody down now. Big chance to get real comfortable in this ball game. Pitch a line drive base hit to left field. And then we're going to round third on the way to the plate. Throw will be cut off, but nobody's covering. Oh, I did. Got back in there, and that was a very close play.
Yep, the tag was high.
Yeah.
Yep, tag was up on the shoulder, and that's where that call comes from.
It's one of those ones that we're finding out today when you request to look at it in Major League Baseball that sometimes they get the out call today.
Yep.
But, yeah, you're right. Traditionally, that's a
the left fielder, Andrew
high
Martin.
tag. Yes.
What's your granddaughter?
No.
This is Andrew Martin coming up to the plate. He's hitting 167 on the season. He's got a couple of hits. Andrew has scored 7 runs, so he's been early in the season. I know he was a courtesy or designated runner.
Here's a strike. Well, he is asked to bunt a lot, and
yes.
He's in the number 9 slot, and a lot of times comes up. You look at it at, you get a bunt down, and he's able to bunt for a hit. He's not a burner, but still runs pretty well.
He's got good speed. Yep.
Well, Riverside in all the way around. Here's a bunt, fair ball out in front of the plate. We're kind of off the bag too far, and it's safe at first, and it's going to be another run scored.
Yep.
That was a case where they had us hung up to dry because Cale was really too far down the line, and third baseman was close to the bag, so they really had a play there. But we're going to give Martin. I think we got to give him a hit, Jeff.
Oh, absolutely. There was nothing. Mental errors or judgmental errors do not get scored as errors in the scorebook. You read that in there.
Well, it wasn't, and it wasn't run through as a fielder's choice as such. So.
Oh, heavens no! No, they made the play at first. He beat the throw. He beat the wrap down there. Then we're going to have a courtesy runner here for the Athenians.
Number 27.
Hold on here. I got to dig out a program.
Oh,
first.
okay. Here,
some of the younger guys.
You got it.
I got it. Gabe Joyner.
All right.
Gabe is a junior.
Yeah, Gabe has done that a few times this year so far. And he's had maybe 1 or 2 at bats even this season.
There we go. So he'll be the.
Matter of fact, I think he's hitting 500. So maybe he's 1 for 2.
Very good. Well, we can go quick dig. I'll get back to the that stats page.
Runners at first and second, still nobody down with the leadoff hitter, Will Kellerman. Here's a pitch way up high. Well, this young man on the mound is having to throw too many pitches now.
Yes,
right now you're.
He threw 17 in the first inning, and he's pretty pushing 24, 25 here right now.
Here's a pitch. Will takes this one inside. 2 balls, no strikes.
And see, the thing is Crawfordsville has already turned the lineup over already. They got the number 1 hitter up, in the second inning. Always a bad sign when that leadoff hitter a couple times at the top, when they hit every inning, you just know you're not having a good day.
Yeah, there you go. Well, here's a fake at second base, and I don't think he's thrown there yet, but he's faked a few times.
I had a softball game earlier this week where the leadoff hitter she hit 6 times in 4 innings.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Having fun.
Yeah.
Here's a pitch. Up and in. 3 balls, no strikes.
Gonzalez is now struggling to find the strike zone. That pitch you could just see. He didn't pitch it. He was just trying to place it.
I believe this. I saw Coach Froge turn somebody loose Thursday, I believe, on a 3-0. Let's see what happens here. Pitch. Will takes it. And that was a tough pitch. It kind of squeezed him a little bit up and in there, and so a good pitch to take.
Yep.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Yep. Some hitters like that inside pitch. They'll turn on it. Will is not that good. He likes that pitch farther out because he'll stroke it the other direction.
Here's a throw to second base. That time he gets through and hits Joyner right below the numbers, I believe.
Yeah, right on the belt buckle there, or the backside of the belt buckle. Just looking up, Joyner has not scored a run yet this year. So he's looking for...
But 500 on the batting average.
Yep, he is 1 for 2.
Yep. Here's a pitch. Fouled back into the net. This great net, I tell you what, I appreciate the net so much since we made that renovation, whatever year it was. That
going on about 5 years now.
The brick all the way around, and really, I do not hesitate to say it's as fine a ballpark as there is in high school baseball. Here's a one-hopper to second. He puts it on the ground, goes to the bag, makes a throw, and they get the call, and wow. I'm surprised Will didn't beat that one out, but close call and went against the Athenians. So 2 down on the double play. Will Kellerman, shortstop, gave us a chance by putting the ball on the ground, but it was close to the bag and able to get there and turn the double play. So all of a sudden, 2 down.
Williams came up with a cannon throw. I mean, if you doubled up Will Kellerman in any way, shape, or form, you have accomplished something.
Yeah. Here's a pitch to Carson Scott, up ball 1.
Yep, it moves Joyner to third base, though. There are 2 outs now, so takes away some of the options. Carson just needs to get a base hit. The Athenians, though, have 3 runs this at-bat, 4 on the game, so.
Here's foul ball out of play.
It's headed for the football stands.
Made that good sound off the bleachers.
Better than the sound of off my windshield. I know that.
Well, you didn't park where that could happen.
Oh, good heavens, no.
Okay, all right.
I'm parked out there where Willie Mays couldn't hit a home run.
All right.
I'm about 895 feet away from home plate.
Reminds me, there's a lot of good Willie Mays stories that tell, but it reminds me of Willie Mays. I'll tell in a little bit. Here's a pitch. Swung on. So the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Carson Scott trying to get another run in for the Athenians. They've already put up 3 here in the bottom half of inning number 2.
Yep. And Carson scored the first run for Crawfordsville in the first inning with a bunt single, 2 stolen bases.
Pitch swung on and missed. He really pulled off that. Kind of a
score 3 runs on 2
unusual there, but
and leave 1.
3 runs on 2 hits. There was one Milwaukee error, and Joyner was left on first base, still trying to score his first run of his young career.
Yeah.
I'll get a pitch count here for you real quick. .35 pitches that half inning. 52 already for the game. Coach Coons. We gotta say nice things about that catcher, Coach. His dad's sitting right here in front of us, giving us the evil eye. You said you had a Willie Mays story. I'd be interested.
Okay, yeah. Well, Willie Mays is a great player and could do it all. I absolutely could do it all. Run the bases. We know he could catch anything that any human being could run down out there in center field, and just a great hitter. Power hitter as well as average. But I remember, and I say this because I had the opportunity to bat against a guy called Eddie Feiner, the king in his court.
Softball guy.
And I didn't have any better luck than Willie did. But they used to have a sports program on Saturday afternoon in the off season. And so this particular day, they had Eddie Feiner, king without his court, pitching to Willie Mays.
And he was throwing a softball. Or was he throwing a baseball?
No, he's throwing a softball.
Got it.
Willie couldn't hit a fair ball.
No. That's not surprising.
And I had that same feeling.
Yeah.
I will say a teammate of mine, Dick Baker, who's right down here to our right somewhere. Yeah. Dick Baker played against the king. And here's a swing and a miss. Let me put my batter in here.
It's Rojas.
Number 7.
Number 7. He's in right field, the position 9, hitting in the 9 spot.
All right. Well, anyway, Dick had played against him right here in Crawfordsville. The only time Eddie Feiner came to Crawfordsville, king in his court. And but Dick had gone to, here's a strike at the knees. Count goes 1 ball and 2 strikes. And anyway, Dick thought he'd seen a little rhythm in what King did sometimes. And Dick actually hit a home run. Now, here's a pitch down 2-2. You have to remember, Eddie Feiner in the field had a shortstop and a first baseman, and of course a catcher.
Right.
And
there was 4 of them. That's all there was.
So Dick hit the ball where a second baseman would normally be standing. It rolled out there, and so he was able to go all the way around the base. Here's a swing and a miss. But Dick had said he'd gone and watched him at Indianapolis at Victory Field the night before, and thought he had a little rhythm and picked on when he threw a changeup, and he caught the changeup.
There we go. There we go.
All right, swing and a miss. 1 down here in the top of the third.
That is 6 strikeouts through the first run of the Milwaukee Riverside lineup.
Feliciano, the batter. Here's a pitch. Popped in the air. That's in play. Caleb coming back, finds it, and reaches the glove up and brings it in. Good job. Kept his feet under him well.
Well, he kept his feet underneath him. It turned once. Instead of turning twice, like so many catchers do, especially young catchers, they'll turn one way. Then
found the ball right off the bat.
He waited for a couple seconds. Probably help, fielders helping, yelling, turn right, turn left, and then find it, and then position your feet. That's just a great job.
Here's a ball off the hands and over to the dugout.
Algie struck out his first trip up in the first inning.
As all of them did in the first inning.
All 3 of them. 3 up, 3 Ks. 337 hitter on the season. He went down swinging.
Here's a pitch for a strike. Boy, good fastball.
Yeah.
Cam, I think he tops out at 86. I don't know. Maybe he's touched 87. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Here's a swing and a miss, and that'll do it for the Tigers here. And so in the inning for the Athenians, they leave the Tigers without anything going again. And,
9 pitches, Coach.
Yeah, a great inning for Cam there.
Cam threw 16 in the first and 16 in the second, and only 9 that inning. So he's got an easy pitch count effort going on so far. I heard
that's what you call a good game plan.
That's exactly right. Did I hear right? Warren in his 5 innings of work on Thursday only threw 45 pitches.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, I said I thought it was the best I'd ever seen him.
Yep.
I don't remember the strikeout total, but nonetheless, I was trying to think. They hit one pretty solid fly ball to center field, but there just wasn't much centered up at all. I thought Austin was as sharp as I've seen him, and really Dacker in the 6th inning was really sharp. Not quite as sharp in the 7th, but didn't really allow anything.
Yeah.
And it was just a great outing for the Athenian pitching
Absolutely.
staff.
Well, Coach, you've been watching baseball for more years than I'll tell anybody, I know. But, you get a situation like that when you get a guy that comes in and cruises, has good stuff, good control. Isn't it important, like when Decker comes in, isn't it real important just to be something different? Some kind of different pitch, some kind of different speed, because the other team may have seen this. All right, we've seen this guy a couple times through the rotation. The next guy comes in, isn't giving them just a really different kind of look? Isn't that a bit of a strategy?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can. A lot of times, what happens as a pitch is taken by Blackburn up and away, you get the guy that's throwing real hard. And then you bring in a guy that's got more soft stuff, and it really can throw the hitters off on their timing, and such an effective way to plan your game, if you want to look at it that way.
A long time ago, helped Dan Taylor coach the Legion team, and we had a guy that came from one of the county schools, came from South, I think it was. Oh, he had great breaking stuff, great breaking stuff. Threw so softly, run him through the rotation no more than twice, and then bring the guy who could throw as hard as he could throw BBs.
Yeah.
Oh, that we won a lot of games.
Yeah, anytime you can change that timing.
Yep.
3-0 now on Blackburn. Well, I want to tell you, you mentioned Legion. I'll throw this out for all Legion coaches having had that experience. My father had that experience too. Coaching Legion is one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult, of all levels of baseball, because primarily you don't have the chance to really work with your kids. You don't have the practice time. You take kids in, and you're bringing them in. There's the ball for us, Blackburn walks.
And they're all all-stars.
And they're good players, but they've come from maybe different philosophies, have a little bit different ideas. It is a difficult thing to, as you say, you got good ball players, and so you got that going for you for sure, but you still have a situation, and I'm looking down here at Mayor Coons and remembering that his father was also one of those guys that had American Legion baseball and did a great job, but it is a difficult coaching situation. All right, we square and take a strike. Austin Warren at the plate.
Warren struck out his first trip up to the plate in the first inning. Blackburn, we had mentioned, who's now down at first base, drove in Crawfordsville's first run with an infield ground ball. Warren hitting .240 on the year. Runner goes.
Good jump. Throw was down fairly close, but we're in there safely. Good job there.
And that was ball 2 on Warren. That's a handful of stolen bases already for the Athenians. Scott stole 2 in the first. Saunders stole a base. And now Blackburn has stolen a base.
Well, the young sophomore pitcher, not adept at holding runners on. Ground ball to third. Cleanly picked up onto first base. A little wide, but we get to out. It's a good job by the first baseman keeping his toe in the bag. And, again, a good job of base running there, not running into an out. Holding on at second, still in scoring position now with an out.
DeAndre Algie was playing third base there, and he kind of gathered that ball up and jumped off the edge of the grass into his gut a little bit. But he did a great job of holding the runner, looked him back, literally looked him back, and then made a good throw. And then the first baseman did a nice job getting back to the base. Dodd's using those long legs.
Well, Cam squares and takes it. Here's the throw to third. We're going to be. We are out. Good job. You see where he laid the glove right in front of the bag, and he slides right into it. Nice throw by the catcher that time. So the Athenians now, for the first time, get thrown out on a stealing attempt, and that'll be out number 2.
Blackburn heads to the bench. I thought he got a pretty good jump, but then all of a sudden it looks like they added 10 extra feet between the bases. They looked down there, and the throw was down there in good time.
Well, Josh is one of those aggressive guys. Again, I'd say he's a guy that runs well, but he's not a burner. He definitely is not one of those guys that just is an automatic.
Well, and McDonald did a nice job of stepping behind Saunders and throwing the ball down to third base, too.
He did. Here's the pitch, swung and grounded, left side, shortstop in the hole. Up with it, the long throw will be late. Ball trickles away from first, but no further advancement. So that'll go as a base hit for Cam Saunders.
He had that one legged out. That was a 2-hopper in the tall grass and then deep into the 6 hole. And I think he's safe unless the first baseman had been able to make some miraculous tag. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure there are shortstops that can make that play, but high school shortstops.
Most of them are being paid to do it.
I was going to say, high school shortstops are not going to make that play very often. No.
That's a long way to go, number one. Then to get your feet set, and you got to have a cannon. I mean, you just got to have it from that far away. My goodness, that's got to be about 130 feet.
So, young man, year before last, here's a swing and a miss by Jake Decker. Semifinal game Southmont was playing over at Park Tudor.
Oh, in the regionals?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
that guy could throw.
The shortstop was an outstanding athlete, and he made some plays really showing a lot of lateral movement.
Yep. Yeah, he was one of the reasons they went a long way in the state tournament.
They went all the way. They won it.
that was the trigger line. Some of my kids said, "Hey," and that was a close ball game. Said we could have pulled this one off. Here goes Cam, but he'll be coming back. That's a foul ball. 2 outs.
Drops it. He'll be coming back.
I misinterpreted. I thought he was going to hustle back in case he caught it.
Yeah.
But you're right.
If he caught it, he wouldn't even been coming back. He
just go get his glove.
Actually, they did a good job. He got a glove on the ball down there.
Yeah, that guy. That was a marathon run for Rojas out there.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. We're hitting here in the bottom half of inning number 3. Your Athenians lead at 4-0.
4-0. Decker reached on an error and scored his last trip up.
Cam going again. Here's a ground ball. Past the pitcher. Second baseman has it on to first base for the out. So in the inning for the Athenians, they have no runs. They did come up with one hit and 1 runner left on base. So at the end of 3 full, your Athenians lead it by a score of 4-0. Your totals on the line are for the Tigers from Riverside High School or University High School, if you want to string it all the way out.
Formal.
Anyway, they have no runs on 1 hit, and they have 1 error. Your Athenians 4-4-0, and we look forward to Jeff bringing you hopefully the championship ball game later in the day, because we hope the Athenians will be in that. We will certainly webcast wherever the Athenians go.
Game, yes.
But here's the timing, and please remember, timing is always a guesswork.
That's right.
But anyway, game number 2 today is scheduled at 12:45. We will not webcast that, but it's between Lafayette Central Catholic, and as we were looking at polls, in 1 anyway, they're ranked number 1. Is that the coaches poll, I believe?
Coaches poll, the number 1, and in the PBR poll, they're number 2.
And then I believe Griffith in 3A is ranked number 6.
Right.
Your Athenians are,
5.
Number 5.
That's in the coaches poll.
There we go.
But Griffith is not rated at all in the PBR poll. Because I was looking yesterday trying to find out, because I thought I'd heard that Griffith was ranked, and looked, and that other baseball poll, they were nowhere to be found.
So if we should stay on schedule, the consolation game is scheduled for 3:30 this afternoon. And again, hopefully Athenians will not be playing in that one, and would be playing in the championship game at 6 o'clock. And that will be webcast if the Athenians indeed are in that game.
And Crawfordsville Athletic Director Bryce Barton, we were chatting when I came walking in this afternoon or this morning, and we were talking the weather. The weather is good up until a point. So basically, the word from the officials is that don't dawdle.
Okay.
When the second game gets done, give the losing team a short break for a cup of coffee or a water or whatever it is, and then get that third place game going. Because they don't want to threaten the weather gods. With I believe 8:30, 9 o'clock is the line they're kind of drawing in the sand.
I think you're right.
And last year they finished this championship game in I will just use the term I'm known about. It was god awful weather. Rained and cold.
Here's a pitch for ball 2.
This is
McDonald, I believe, at the plate.
Yep. He was a strikeout victim in the first inning.
Strikeout looking in the first inning.
Yep.
Here's the 2-0. That one's way high. So Cam coming out here having a little trouble finding the plate in the top half of inning number 4.
7 strikeouts on the day, but way behind on this guy. If he walks this guy, it'll be the second.
And that'll be ball 4.
Second walk of the day.
McDonald down to first base for the first time today.
And that's going to bring up Williams, who has the only hit thus far. He pushed a bunt single down the right side and got into no man's land. And 3 blue shirts there, and nobody could get the ball fielded. Nobody could get to first base on time.
All right, Cam now working out of the stretch.
And I think we got a courtesy runner at second base. I'll get a number if I can get him turned around.
Let's don't put him on second base yet, though.
Or I'm sorry, first base. First base. My bad.
Let's don't do that.
It was courtesy runner for the number 2 guy, for the catcher. I was looking at the 2 part. He's the catcher. You can courtesy run for him.
Here's throw to first and back in time. No balls, 1 strike.
Fountain Central had that happen to them last night. They got a rare guy on base. They put a courtesy runner in for the catcher, and the first thing he did is get picked off.
I know. You see that in high school. Here's a pitch that Williams has to dive out of the way of. Williams, a junior.
He's the leading hitter for Milwaukee, 438.
Here's a pitch down. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cam needs to get back into the rhythm here. Has had a nice rhythm through 3 innings, but right now in the 4th inning here, he's kind of lost it just a little bit.
Yep. He had 41 pitches coming into this 4th inning.
Runner. Fake bunt. Throw down. Should be in plenty of time, and they get the tag on him for the out. I don't think he ever got to the bag, Jeff.
Nope. McCarty was down there. He pitched to 10th. He had the ball waited for him to slide. He slid, and he still didn't get to the base. So that courtesy runner will run to the dugout, and he never did get his number. So we'll figure it out someday for the stats.
3 balls and 1 strike. Here's ball 4, and so that really is a big out now.
Yeah.
Instead of first and second, nobody out. We have a runner who's probably going to try to steal, even though they got thrown out because he ran very well the first time.
Williams is 8 for 9. He's the leading base stealer for this Tigers team. So I would have no surprise to see him taken off very, very quickly. Dodds is up, who grounded out second to first, his first time up. Ball up. Yep, Cam just come out with a little bit of a different rhythm here. He was first pitch strike to several hitters and has missed a couple times here this inning. Go.
He's going, swung on a miss, throws down. Boy, good throw, but he just gets in ahead of it. But heck of a throw that time.
Yeah, that was a good play all the way around. The young man, Williams got a great jump. Cam came in with the correct pitch, came in with a fastball. So, Coons made a great throw.
Well,
he was just fast.
He was actually quicker that time than he was on the throw before when he threw the guy out.
Yep.
A faster runner. Here's the pitch on the inside corner for a called strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yep. 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Your Athenians lead it by a score of 4-0. Saunders to the plate, swung on a miss, runner going to third. We've got him in plenty of time there. Caleb Coons throwing 2 runners out. Great job there, and the coach did not call that play.
No.
Jeff.
No.
The coach froze in the box, staring down at the out call there. Third base, not real happy with his runner that time.
The coach not very happy down there with his runner's decision, but the catcher's dad pretty happy with the throw down here in front of us. So that was a strike him out, throw him out double play. So that was a great play by the Crawfordsville defense to get out of a mini jam. So no runs, no hits, no errors. 3 up, 3 down technically from Milwaukee Riverside University.
No damage done.
Boy, none at all.
And really a minimal amount of pitches again.
Yep. Yeah, well, when you only faced 3 guys, 4 and 9 and 4. So 13 pitches. So
and I'll definitely have to question Riverside base running in that inning.
Yeah. Well, as you said, Coach, Riverside's third base coach down there was pretty obvious that he had not laid that steal sign down. Williams, after stealing second base, figured he was fast enough to go to third, and everything again.
Well, he should have realized how quick he got. The throw wasn't that far behind him at second base.
Yep.
Now, like I said earlier, if you read the pitcher and get enough leadoff, you take that advantage away from the catcher, but obviously he didn't do it.
Right.
So, anyway, we we come out smelling like a rose, as they say.
That'll work. And that'll bring the 7, 8, and 9 guys up for Crawfordsville to see if they can do a little bit of damage here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Could put some real distance on Riverside if these guys, if a couple of these guys can get on base, and it'll be McCarty, maybe McCarty, Coons, and Martin. But you know the good part is
here's a line drive off the end of the bat, one ups the second baseman, throw to first. Cale made it close there, but one down. Cale 0 for 1 now. He was hit with a pitch his first at bat.
And did score. But I was just as I was finishing when he made that swing, the 7, 8, and 9 guys all got on base, in the second inning, and McCarty did score. McCarty got hit, scored. Caleb had an RBI single, drove in a run, and Martin got a bunt single on a missed play.
Coons takes the first pitch up. Athenians batting here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Here's a pitch down. So it's 2-0 on Caleb Coons, sophomore catcher for the Athenians. Owen Bennett. I'm sure we gave his name, but Owen Bennett, the young junior catcher, he would be, suffering. We just got word that Owen is here today.
Mm-hmm.
Crohn's disease is one of those really lousy situations that we as human beings have to put up with, and that is his situation. Here's the 3-0 right down the heart of the plate.
Yep, 2-2 on that count. Really not, but talking about what a good teammate this guy is. Owen, knowing he's not going to play very much this year, if at all, had a brand new or almost broken in brand new catcher's glove. Here's this pitch popped.
Here's a ball popped. That's in play. Catcher looking. Pitcher over and makes the play, and I don't believe the young catcher comes up with that play. But good job that time playing together, and pitcher steps in and makes the play for out number 2.
Well, you always want the guy coming towards you. You want the guy coming in from the field. That's a much easier catch for a guy like that. Any fielder, and he just took over and did that.
Unfortunately, I've seen too many, not our kids so much, but some of the baseball and softball, both I've watched this year. The outfielders haven't honored that situation. They backed off of balls that should have been their play, and too many times the ball goes ahead and drops. Here's a pitch taken for a strike at the letters.
Andrew Martin takes a strike, but infield bunt single his first trip up. Finishing the Owen Bennett story, brand new glove is just getting it broken in, knows he's not going to use it. He offered it to Caleb to use for the season, or at least for as long as he needed it. So pretty classy act. Here's
a bunt. Goes right back to the pitcher though. Down the line, that's an interesting play. I think he makes it if he gets it down either line, probably.
No errors, and none left.
Yeah, do anything but don't bunt it straight at the guy throwing it to you.
No.
Up and down in order to go the Athenians, and that was a big inning for Gonzalez too, because he had 68 pitches coming into this, managed to get out of this one with only 8 pitches. So
76.
76. So it gets him a little bit more back on track.
Okay, well, looking out, Cam coming on for inning number 5, and he has been very economic with his pitches.
54.
Had good defense behind him.
Yep.
And I believe maybe Cam, one walk?
2 walks.
2 walks.
He walked the 2 guys in the...
he ended up with 8 strikeouts, I think, maybe.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Yep. And he has a total of, he walked 2 this last at bat, and he had walked a guy in the second inning. So officially on the game, he's got 3 walks, and 3 walks and 8 Ks, and just the 1 hit allowed.
Well, he's I'm impressed with his rhythm. He lost a little bit maybe to start the 4th inning, but he looks real comfortable out there. And fastball, again, we don't have a jug gun back here, but I think he's probably, at times anyway, touching that thing 85, 86.
Sure. Yep.
Well,
and
flags right now, fast, Jeff, are almost limp in the outfield. A little bit of blow on them, but not much wind. It's getting maybe a little bit warmer out here.
On a July day, it would be just enough wind to keep the mosquitoes off, you know.
And a good crowd. I've noticed the bleachers in front of us, which I've mentioned before. I really love the fact that we were able to put the bleachers in behind home plate.
Yes.
Reminds me, you said something about how long I'd been watching baseball. I remember in the war years.
Sure.
Watching baseball at Milligan Park.
Do we ask which war? No,
well,
I'm just giving you a bad time.
That way, you can go back to that number 2 we got stuck on earlier. But here's Jackson at the plate.
But yes, sitting behind the bleachers. I mean, that's a great place. This is absolutely a great vantage point.
Here's a pitch right down the middle for a strike. But, we actually had a grandstand over there, and it was really, of course, baseball on Sundays was usually the only day baseball was played out there.
Okay.
There were no lights.
Right.
There were lights, but it was used for fast pitch softball.
Okay.
And remind all those, here's a pitch for strike 3 taken. So 1 down here in the top of the 5th.
That was Amir Jackson, and he had walked his first time up, and he came up looking for another walk, and he took a called third strike there.
Well, you commented his batting average really wasn't very good.
Yep.
So, that was the first walk that Cam had, and had not a good time because they already had a runner on base.
That's right.
So.
That made it a 1st and 3rd, and then he struck out 2 guys to get out of the inning.
Here's a pitch right there. Gonzalez looking all the way.
Boy, Cam works fast. I mean, he is ready to throw the second the ball gets back to him. And, when he's in a good rhythm, and he starts throwing strikes.
Ooh, I don't know how that missed him, but it did. And the count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yep, Gonzalez is the pitcher for Riverside, and struck out swinging his first trip up.
This one's grounded down the third base line, but about 1.5 feet outside the line. When it's picked up by Austin Warren.
It hit the chalk line and bounced foul.
Yeah, it was really an easy call for Mr. Hoffman down there.
Mm-hmm.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 down. Top half of inning number 5. Your Athenians lead it by a score of 4-0. And again, we're playing the Tigers from Riverside University High School in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
That's the big part of it, yep. Swing and a miss.
Yep, good pitch down, and Gonzalez goes down swinging for out number 2.
And that's strikeout number 10 as Cam gets to double digits.
All right, well, maybe the Athenians should come up with something like free popcorn if the Athenian pitchers get so many strikeouts.
Oh, we got all these rich parents down here in front of us. Maybe we can get something to sponsor like that.
All right, well.
Hey, if nothing else, maybe it's free popcorn for the announcers.
Center fielder Wilson comes to the plate. I hear you.
Thank you, Mrs. Coons. Coach, I got a free piece of popcorn. We'll split it between us between innings here.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll take 2 airs and you can have the rest.
There we go. That's the biggest piece of pop. The popcorn is popping.
We're not giving Duggar any. I'll tell you that.
No.
Here's a pitch. That's in there for a strike.
Corner, you betcha. 1 and 2.
Wilson playing center field.
You know what? That popcorn's almost so big, Coons Trim Company could almost print their label on the side of it.
It's taken for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down.
Wilson was another strikeout victim. He took a called third.
This one's inside, and count goes full.
Cam's walked 3. He's only gone to... I guess he did get a ball 3 count on 1 strikeout victim, but usually he's been working way ahead.
Swung on and missed. Fastball. In under the hands. So, in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors. In fact, all strikeouts for the second time today.
Yep.
Saunders strikes out the side.
That's 11 whiffs now for Cam. 4, 8, 14 pitches. 69.
Oh, they're taking. Yeah, I tell you
Our technical crew gets
Mayor Coons. He is a generous type guy.
Right.
But look at you. I'm going to take 2 or 3. Well, I'm not taking many because I got to keep talking.
That's right. It's tough to chat. It's tough to chat and munch on the popcorn. That really comes through over the air. So
you know,
Cam 11 Ks.
You do know I had him in school.
Okay.
I passed him.
Okay.
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 That's
why you're getting free popcorn.
You also mentioned the athletic director, Mr. Bryce Barton.
Yep.
Let me tell you, I bet you don't know this.
You probably taught his dad.
I taught his dad.
Yes.
I taught his dad.
Mike, yeah.
Actually, I had him. I worked for a while for the Crawfordsville Recreation Department, and we had a great program back in those years where in the summer, virtually every elementary school became a recreation center.
Okay.
And the kids spent the center, and we had softball league, baseball leagues,
Yep.
tournaments on Fridays with different kinds of and I want to tell you, I had Bryce's grandfather as a coach.
As a coach.
As a co-teacher. We taught together in the same building at Tuttle.
Got it.
But I was also coaching at high school, which he eventually became athletic director.
Yep.
And, of course, all 3 of the Bartons have been athletic directors.
That's right.
So
That's right.
there's a lot of history around here, you know?
Yes, there is. And some of it you can even repeat.
Absolutely. Here's a pitch taken by leadoff hitter Will Kellerman.
Kellerman's 0 for 2. 2 ground outs. And he got doubled off his last trip up, and that we got to jot that one down because he won't get doubled off more than a couple times this season.
Here's a ground ball right side. Second baseman has it. Tosses on to first for out number 1. So Will's not a happy camper now, you know.
No. He's getting the ball put in play, but he's getting 2 of them have been just direct shots right at an infielder, and as we mentioned, the double play. So they'll bring up Carson Scott, bunt single, scored a run after a couple of stolen bases in the first inning, and then struck out his second appearance in the second. The Athenians got a run in the first and 3 in the second.
Yeah, offense has kind of slowed down here a little bit, Jeff.
Yep.
Taken for a ball as he turns as if to bunt. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't.
No, we've talked about it. Carson Scott's a good bunter, drives the ball for some power. You know, just one of those guys you like to have in that number 2 spot.
There's a different scene. See the roof over there?
Oh, they're doing some roof work.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That's just a trash chute. They had a lift, a scissors lift or something up there earlier. I think they're installing that. So my guess is they're putting some new covering, some new rubber coating or something on part of the pool area or something, and that little tube is just for trash.
Those flat roofs, they just seem like they always need attention.
That's right. That's right.
Carson Scott with 2 balls, no strikes.
They're always hot and they always leak.
This one he tries to bunt and can't get it down, so 2 balls on a strike. Here's a loose ball coming out of the Athenian bullpen. Made a trip all the way down behind home plate.
Got by the safety guy, a couple of coaches, and a couple of passers-by.
Yeah, Josh Blackburn, the on-deck hitter, has to haul it in. Scott squares. Takes that first strike. Count evens. Wants to stay in there now. Pulled off really bad on his strikeout to the last at bat. He just not. The pitch was on the outside part of the plate. That's one that you don't get if you pull off for sure. To the plate, swung on, taken down the left field line. That ball is going to fall foul. Pretty close, but he's going to come back and try it again.
That stayed a little closer. I thought that was going to be a fairly well foul, and ended up being a couple of ball widths wide.
Well, I don't know. Should we give the attendance today, Jeff?
Well, we can start with at least the attendance for game 1.
Yeah.
Enough to pay the expensive umpires.
That's what's interesting. I was trying to look over here at Riverside to see how many parents came down from that far. Here's a pitch taken outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. One away. Carson Scott, your batter.
Yep. Well, they might be mixed with some CC fans that are
That's true. I'm
probably
sure.
getting down here.
I'm sure that's the case. 3-2 on the way. This is taken inside. So Carson Scott on down to first base.
Carson worked his way back from that. He was down, 1-2, and so
The center fielder
managed
Josh
to
Blackburn.
get himself on base. 1 out, 1 on.
Jeff,
Fifth inning.
what's Josh done here?
Josh on the day has reached base once on a walk in the third inning and stole a base, was then caught stealing. In his first at bat, a ground ball to the infield, scored the first run of the ball.
Yeah,
game.
had the first RBI.
Yep, got the first RBI. And he gets hit.
It does. On down. So, without a whole lot of effort, the Athenians have a threat here going in the bottom half of inning number 5.
So that is the second guy that Gonzalez has hit. The first guy cost him. He hit McCarty with a pitch after a long at bat. It was on the 8th pitch of that at bat, and then McCarty eventually scored.
Yeah.
This will put Warren up to the plate. 0 for 2, strikeout, ground out.
Here's a line drive off the glove of the pitcher. He recovers, fumbles again, and still gets the out at third base. That was a good job by Gonzalez staying with it there.
Yep, and that was a shot right back at him.
That ball hit pretty hard. I think he got a little bit off the end of the bat, but still the ball got back there quickly. And off the glove, but staying with the play was Gonzalez.
Yep, Scott was caught in a step back towards second base, because if the catcher does catch that ball out, if it sticks in his glove, you're looking at a double play. So he was there was just no winning that one.
No. Here's the ball taking out into center field.
There's a win
that
for this
ball
one.
Is gone. Cam Saunders, about 375 feet away from home plate, takes it out of here. And that puts the lead to 7-0.
That, I believe, is Cam's first of the season.
I'm sure you're right.
Crawfordsville's only got out 1 or 2. They're not the Earl Weaver kind of guys. They're not the
three-run home run
kind of guys. We'll look it up real fast here. First home run of the season for the Athenians, not just for him. So that's his first, and that moves him up to 8 RBIs overall. So
the right fielder,
his dad's down there. I don't know if Cam. I thought Cam had one last year or not. So
I think he did.
All right.
I hate to say this, but I had last year's record book, and I've left it over to Coach Roach's house.
Oh, well, let's see how that goes. Yeah, well, I haven't been privileged to get one yet. Jared's got the copy down at the Journal Review office. So
here's a ball taken foul off the right side. Count evens.
Headed for the
Pardon me, is 0-2.
0-2
with 2 outs.
Headed for the softball field there. Decker technically 0 for 2. Reached on an error and scored in the second inning, and then grounded out in the third. So Cam, though, the big guy so far, he hasn't reached base 3 times. Walked and scored, single on an infield ground ball, and then a 3-run dinger.
Well, we got some pretty good senior leadership on this ball club.
Oh,
a lot
absolutely.
of young players still, but
good blend.
Yes, it is. Here's a ground ball, gets by the pitcher. Shortstop's there, picks up on to first base on a very close play. Decker is out. 6-3 it is, and so in the inning,
Your Athenians scored 3 runs.
your Athenians hit 3 runs.
One single hit.
One hit.
But it was a big one. Yep. No errors and nobody left.
So at the end of 5 full innings of play, your totals are for Riverside, they have no runs with 1 hit and 1 error. Your Athenians, 7 runs, 5 hits, and no errors.
Interesting on this pitch count thing for Gonzalez. 3 different Crawfordsville guys were first ball hitters on that. And obviously Blackburn was not he got hit with the first ball, but the first pitch hit him. Warren put the ball in play and reached on the fielder's choice, and Cam hit the first pitch offered to him for the home run. So that gives Gonzalez 89 pitches at the end of 5 innings.
Well, we have a pitching change. McCarty coming in here to start the 6th inning. Cale probably at least his 3rd appearance and maybe more than that.
Oh, let's look.
You got it there.
It's right here. This will be his 4th appearance. Yep, he doesn't have any starts. He does have a save. This is not a save situation. He's only given up 1 hit, 2 runs, 3.5 ERA, walked 6, struck out 6. Yeah. So the book closes, at least for the time being, on Saunders, who will be in a good position to pick up his 4th win of the season. He is 3-1 overall, but Cam goes 5 solid innings. 1 hit allowed only. No runs, obviously. Walked 3 and struck out 11.
Great outing.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Yeah. Well, here's some good news. Do you feel it? It's 4 degrees warmer than it was at the start of the game.
You know what? I was wondering why I needed the sunscreen.
49 degrees. But now listen to this.
Yeah.
Advantage of being in the south end of the county. Newmarket's up to 52.
It's always sunny and 52 at Newmarket.
Okay.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 4, Corte Glenn.
And we have a pinch hitter.
Yes, we do. Number 4, Glenn.
That is Corte, Quorte, last name Glenn, like John Glenn.
He is a senior. Listed as a catcher-pitcher position-wise.
Okay.
Pitch taken for a strike.
He has played quite a bit, but he has actually got no batting average. He must be a courtesy runner kind of guy.
Here's a swing and a miss.
Number 4, Zach Fitcher, has entered the game for Crawfordsville at 2nd base.
Okay.
And
Zach
Fitcher?
Yeah, at 2nd base.
At 2nd base. So Crawfordsville making
timeout at the plate.
Making a couple of changes. 2 quick strikes on Glenn. So McCarty looking to come in and kind of just keep the door closed on Riverside. 4-0. Or 7-0, excuse me. After
nice breaking ball right there for strike 3. So Glenn strikes out looking.
And McCarty not using the old, we'll waste a pitch on 0-2. He threw that great breaking pitch right down at the knees and got this guy on 3 pitches. That's 12 strikeouts now for Crawfordsville pitching.
Yeah, I have no problem with that kind of a thing. You got the number 9 hitter up there, pinch, and he's in a pinch hit situation.
Yeah, don't give him a chance.
And keep the lever. Here's a pop-up on the infield. 3rd base pitcher. 3rd base going to take it. As Warren properly takes charge of that pop-up.
That was hilarious if you watch that, because McCarty, who is
infield,
who's absolutely an infield, could easily end up becoming an all-conference shortstop. He's as good as there is in the area. He was ready to go. He was there. He was taking, but no, you're the pitcher. You take a step off and let the other guy make that play.
Properly done. All right, here's a swing and a miss.
This is Algie. Yep, who has 2 Ks to his credit so far.
Well, we'll at least give him credit for swinging both times.
Yep,
How's that?
That's it. He's been up
Here's
and down.
Here's the 0-1. That's right there, strike 2.
He's been up and down pretty quickly. He struck out in 3 pitches in the 3rd and struck out in 5 pitches in the 1st.
Cale has looked pretty good in his outings this year that I've watched. Okay. He's been really effective. Here's a breaking ball. And again, not worrying about a
that would have been
0-2,
a strike. That's right.
But, he brings it. It was still kind of down in the zone.
Yep.
2 out here in the top half of inning number 6. Your Athenians now lead it by a score of 7-0. Looking to move to the championship game at 6 o'clock this evening. Breaking ball grounded to 2nd. Big hop for Carson Scott. Liked it. Oh, Carson.
Pitcher.
Pardon me. You're right. And he did 2 things wrong. One, he didn't get the big hop. He let it. He froze right there.
Yep.
And then he kind of just didn't throw the ball first base.
Right.
So young man getting learning opportunity there.
Learned the hard way there.
4.
Crawfordsville's first error of the game comes here in the 6th inning.
Hey, that's why they put him out there. Yep. You can't learn unless you get the big lead over here. Ball's inside, and Caleb picks that up right away. He said,
that's right.
That guy's kind of stretching it out. I think Caleb, though, picked a tough pitch. The pitch was inside, and that's harder. You got to
tough to spin around and get that.
The ball being that far outside, we might have had something going. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. This is McDonald at the plate. He has struck out and walked, Jeff.
He walked, and then he was caught stealing. He was one of the 2 guys that young Mr. Coons picked down in the 4th inning.
He's going. Swung on a miss. The throw is going to be a little high, but
he didn't slide.
I know. I don't think we had him anyway, but he got a heck of a jump.
He got a great jump. Yep.
1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 down.
Both of these coaches are pretty aggressive on the bases. They're putting guys in motion lots of times.
Swung on and missed. So Cale McCarty comes in and just kind of makes it look like it has all morning long.
No runs, no hits, 1 error.
Or I guess we're officially past the morning now.
There we go.
We're not. We're not. What are we? We're early. It's 11. I forgot.
It's in the pre-noon.
I looked at it as 11 something. I don't remember what it is.
It's brunch.
11:38.
It's brunch time,
Okay.
So that's it. Dozen pitches is all young Mr. McCarty needs to get his work done in the 6th inning. So the Athenians continue to put the goose egg up defensively. They did pick up their first error of the afternoon, and that guy was the guy left on the bases. So no runs, no hits, that 1 error. So Cam Saunders again finishes throwing 69 pitches in 5 innings of work. Allowed the 1 hit, no runs, 3 walks, and 11 Ks. So now with McCarty's 2, that gives the Athenian pitching staff 13 Ks on the day.
Well, and I don't, totally know our pitching plan for the day, but, with only throwing 69 pitches,
he's certainly good for an inning or 2 if need be.
It gives you, a possibility there with Cam.
Warren only threw 45 on Thursday,
Yep.
So he's certainly close to a full load available. Decker only threw 2 innings, so he's got to be close to available. Kellerman's always good. We always use him for an inning or 2. I know he doesn't. They don't like to use him for a long stretch, if I understand, right?
Well, I guess my evaluation, anyway, I've seen him throw quite a bit, not that much this year, but Will can be really good. He pitched a game over at Frankfurt last year. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. Well, the ironic thing last year is the conference champions, Crawfordsville beat them 3 times last year.
That's right.
But anyway, he just didn't allow much of anything over there, and handled Frankfurt, the conference champions, easily in that ball game. Mm-hmm. And then his next outing was just kind of rough, and he's just been inconsistent, I think is the thing you'd say. Yeah. But he certainly has the potential to pitch really good ball games. He's a left-hander that the ball moves very well, and so it'd be interesting to see how our plan goes today. Well, Cale McCarty at the plate.
Cale McCarty.
McCarty 0 for 1 on the books. He did get hit his first time up and scored a run in the 2nd inning, grounded out in the 4th. He's a .250 hitter, takes ball 1. Gonzalez still firing away for Riverside.
Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yep. Bottom of the order here for Crawfordsville, 7, 8, 9, which could be the last trip up. Assuming McCarty's coming up to pitch the 7th.
Here's a ball popped. That's in play.
That's right at
Catcher
us.
lost it right off the bat and cannot get there. And you see, the this young man behind the plate has struggled on the two.
Yeah, well, and actually, this is a secondary.
New
this
catcher.
is a second guy.
This is the other catcher.
This is Glenn, who came in to pinch
hit.
Yep. Yep. And McDonald had been behind the plate up until this point in time, and he just never got the ball.
No.
It was so high up in the air, and he looked to the right, the ball was to the left, and then it was a long run to go get it.
So Cale behind on the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, I am pleased that we have almost no breeze going right now.
Yes.
Well, there was quite a bit of wind actually in the games earlier this week.
There's been this whole week. There's been lots of wind.
So this is about as still as it's been.
Yeah, the fronts have moved through that gigantic winter storm that jumped up to 30 inches of snow in some places in the northern part of South Dakota, and up towards the Twin Cities and up in the Green Bay area. Wow.
Pitch is up. So the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
McCarty was looking at a 1 ball, 2 strike count a moment ago and has got it full. He's walked 5 times on the season. Let's see if he can get number 6.
There it is. Ball by to the backstop. No further advancement, though.
Well, McCarty gave it a look. I had a North game a week or so ago where it was a deep backstop place, and the catcher just kind of lollygagged back to the fence, and the North Montgomery guy, it was Cade Coble, he made it to second base. Oh, I won't even say which team it was. That coach was furious.
Here's the pitch to Coons. It's called a strike. Right on the outside edge.
Yep. Caleb 1 for 2 on the day. Single, drove in a run in the second inning. Popped out to the pitcher. Second trip up.
Pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen.
He got the piece of it, just got the bottom piece of it.
So Caleb down on the count 0-2.
Caleb's also got a couple guys picked. He's thrown 2 guys out trying to steal. So.
I don't know. We had to talk to this fellow down here with the red on, I mean, what do you wear a Cardinals thing to the Athenians tournament here? Jim Bean, my goodness.
Yes.
I had him in school, by the way. I didn't teach him a thing, did I?
Well, he just didn't. He didn't retain it. How about that?
Okay.
It's been a fun spring with all of the Cardinals and the Cubs fans giving each other a bad time as both teams have kind of flailed early in the season.
All right, Coons back in, ready to go here now. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yep. Got to guard the plate here, down on the count.
Short lead off by McCarty. Here's a pitch. Swung on. Lined into right center field. That's going to get down. Here goes McCarty racing around to third base. Coach Frodes puts a hand up, hole right there, and Coons slides in head first with a 2-base hit.
Well, he stole that second base because that normally catchers are supposed to be low and slow, and boy, that ball didn't really get into the gap, but there was a decent run for the right fielder.
Yeah, well,
and Caleb just, he rounded first base, never slowed down, and just committed to second base.
Yeah, the ball not carrying on the ground. The ground still pretty soft, so we, let's see. Looking for the number, and I can't identify a runner out there. I think it's number 19, but I don't have a 19 on the program.
For Crawfordsville?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't.
The courtesy runner at second base is number 19, Alex Kellerman.
Okay, I should have known that.
It's
Alex Kellerman.
Little Kellerman. So he's running for Coons. So a different courtesy runner than the other time.
Yes.
Just in case he scores a run to get his name in the book.
Sure.
And we got a new pitcher for Riverside, number 23.
He was a catcher before, I think.
Yep, absolutely right. That is Berman McDonald. And we'll look through some quick notes on him. Berman McDonald. He's a relief. He's pitched in relief. This is he's thrown 4 innings, given up 1 hit, 3 of his 6 runs allowed have been earned. Faced 24 batters, 5 walks, 7 Ks, so he's got a pretty decent walk-to-strikeout ratio.
Well, the Athenians, they bring what we can now call the winning run to the plate, actually, if we would tack another one up.
That's right.
May I have your attention? The new pitcher is number 23, Zach Behrman McDonald.
And the Athenians look like they're going to run a pinch hitter in here. I don't see Andrew Martin.
No, it's not.
Warming up.
It's not Andrew.
Get him turned around and get a number here. Looks like number 12. Another one not on the program.
It may be Taylor.
Okay.
I'm not sure that I remember the right number. But
okay. Well,
that's one of the possibilities.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, let's see here. We got the. I know Coach sent me the starting lineup. See if that had all the.
I have another roster, and it doesn't have all of them in there either. So
here we go. Number who we need 12.
12.
Henry Taylor.
Yep.
So he will pinch hit in the 6th for Martin. Martin bunted twice, bunted for a single once, and was thrown out by the pitcher his 2nd time up. Taylor probably has a stat or 2 here in the big book.
Yes, I know
Henry
he's
Taylor,
had probably 2 at-bats.
2 at-bats, 1 hit, so he's hitting 500.
Yep.
He has 1 RBI and 1 run scored. And he does have a walk. So he's been efficient in limited action.
Now batting for Crawfordsville, number 12, Henry Taylor.
Henry looking real hard down at Coach Rhodes. Coach Rhodes won't look at him. There we go. Okay.
Give him a little ear tug, in this, which means get a single and score 2 runs.
There you go.
Easiest sign in the book.
All right. That one's taken inside.
The Athenians have got the top of the order coming up. This is the number 9 batting spot. Although normally you'd like that, but the top of the batting order for Crawfordsville hasn't been all that effective today. It's been the middle guys.
Here's a swing and a miss.
The middle guys have done all the damage today.
Well, McDonald also is only a sophomore, so both these guys pitching for Riverside have been sophomores today.
Yep. They're 2-4 on the season, so certainly some experience playing. Because it doesn't matter who they play, whether they get Griffith or Central Catholic in their next game, they're going to see another really good foe.
That's for sure.
So if they came down to get some good looks, they're going to get them.
Well, it's kind of like we did going to Tennessee.
That's right.
Here's a ball off the hands, drops harmlessly foul. First baseman. Good job. Got a good jump, but just too far away.
Yep.
Well, we go down there and get whooped pretty good on our first game at Tennessee, but they were number 1 in the state, albeit at the lower, smaller school.
That'd be like going over to play Covington right now. Covington's just ripping through people over there. They're ranked, I think, was it 8? I think they're 8 in the coaches' poll this week. Just because you're from a small school doesn't mean you can't have a good baseball team.
That's very true. Pitch down in the dirt. Kept right around home plate there by Glenn.
Ooh, that makes that count full now. I know first base is open, but boy, you just don't want to. You don't really want to set yourself up that dangerously.
Again, that's a winning run there.
Yeah.
So
game-ending run.
One step closer. So here's the 3-2. Swung on a ground ball, right side. Second baseman has it. No bounce on that. That just looked like going across the pool table there.
Yep. But it does move both runners up 90 feet.
Well,
one of them
RBI.
across the plate. That's right. McCarty scores for the 2nd time today. And young Kellerman moves to third base. So Taylor sure does his job. He drives in a run. Kellerman 0 for 3 on the
Oh,
day.
shall we say, Will is due. Okay,
Yep,
how's that?
Three ground balls. Yeah, his 407 average has dropped below 400 now.
Everyone in now on the infield. It's a pitch. That's going to be high.
And that really makes it better for Kellerman because all he's got to do is get the ball between somebody, and then he can lay something out. Or he flares something.
Left fielders fairly
Everybody.
shallow.
Yeah, if he would get one over somebody's head, he could run for a day and a half.
Ball away. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yep, Crawford's got a run in the first, 3 in the second, 3 in the fifth on a Saunders home run, 1 so far this at bat.
Which makes it 8-0.
Yep. So they've spread it out, and a lot of different positions have scored. Carty scored twice, Saunders has scored twice, everybody else, a bunch of guys have scored once.
This young man taking his time on the mound.
Yep.
Now McDonald delivers, and it's in the dirt. 3 balls, no strikes.
Central Catholic and Griffith come up next. That's going to be a fun game to watch.
You know what, Jeff? Here's a pitch taken inside, ball 4. I believe the wind has changed a little bit. Can you feel wind kind of coming at your backside a little bit? And I noticed the flag down here showing a little bit this way now.
Yeah, and it's blowing just a little harder than it was.
The wind coming from that direction should elevate the temperature.
It should.
All right, here we go.
Carson Scott, has reached base twice, singled on a bunt, scored in the first, walked in the fifth, and struck out in the second.
Ball taken outside.
Kellerman watches one pitch. I kind of thought he'd be going.
Yeah.
Because Kellerman is the dangerous one now. That's the game ender over there. He stays.
Well, probably Coach Rose saying, hey, these guys came a long way. We don't,
Gonna go station to station.
Yeah, we don't take away their opportunity to bat in the 7th inning.
Okay. That is pretty gracious of you, Coach.
I'll tell you what, you got to sometimes, there's a ball that
it's headed for the grill.
He puts it in the direction of the concession stand, but they're all safe.
Yep. The bad part about the wind changing like that, though, is now we don't get the nice smell from the grill, moving over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sadness in our lives.
Here's the pitch up.
Yep.
3 balls, 1 strike. Carson Scott, your batter. There he goes.
Outside,
ball 4. Ball by the catcher. And here we come to the plate.
Uh-oh.
Good job. He's going to be in there. That's a good job by Will. He's just a natural, aggressive individual and picked that opportunity up to get on down.
Yeah, we'll give Kellerman a stolen base and moves to third on the pass ball. Scott walks, so he's at first. Kellerman.
Kellerman representing the game-ending run down at third base now.
And it was Alex Kellerman who scored the run that makes it 9. Blackburn's up. Blackburn has been effective. He technically is 0 for 1 on the day right now. He grounded out but drove in a run in the first. Then he walked in the third and was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the fifth.
Infield trying to cut off this game-ending run.
Yeah.
Blackburn pretty good at putting the ball in play. Pitch. There's a breaking ball, top of the zone. Called a strike, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Pitch down, gets away, runner does not come.
Yep. Kellerman doesn't commit. That's Will Kellerman.
Coach Froge indicating we should have been running for first base, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not going to throw with a game inning run to third. Here's the pitch. A base hit into right field, and that'll be the ball game as Blackburn, sharp hit ball through the right side, and the Athenians win it here in 6 by a score of 10-0.
Milwaukee University Riverside 0. Congratulations to Cam Saunders and Cale McCarty combining for a
one hitter.
One hit shutout.
That's right.
Along with 13 strikeouts.
Okay, well, Athenians ended here an inning early, but that doesn't really make us sad. Jeff, the final totals are for the Tigers from Riverside, and again, this school comes all the way from Milwaukee. Riverside had no runs on one hit. They committed one error. And your Athenians, 10 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. And for your Athenians, that runs our yearly record to 7 wins and 2 defeats. And it also puts them in the championship game this evening at 6 o'clock. I'm going to assume that we'll stay with that time, but I would just mention to anyone that's watching and listening that
might tune in just a minute early. Yeah, might tune in a minute earlier, too.
And usually we would post a time if it changes even. So it's always a possibility. As we know, there is rain scheduled to come in sometime later.
Yep.
But hopefully we'll get everything in and it will be dry.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank Justin Duggar. I'm sure he presented a good picture all day long. Jeff Nelson.
He only bumped the camera one time. I saw that.
I'm going to ask you to do a little summary there, if you will. I gave the totals, but
well, you get the big highlights. Crawfordsville 10 runs on 7 hits. Up and down the lineup. Will Kellerman scored a run. Alex Kellerman scored a run as a courtesy runner. Carson Scott scored 1. Josh Blackburn scored 1. Austin Warren scored 1. Cam Saunders, who had a 3-run home run, his first home run, the first home run by Crawfordsville this season, scored twice. Jake Decker scored 1. Cale McCarty scored twice, and Caleb Coons scored a run. So Caleb did not score. The courtesy runner, Kellerman, scored for him. So a lot of different guys get on base. A lot of different guys score runs. The Athenians play small ball early. They play long ball later. And then the big, probably in addition to the hitting, the big story, Saunders with 11 strikeouts. McCarty comes in with two scoreless innings in relief, or 1 inning in relief. I'm sorry. And they combined for 13 Ks. So it's win number 7. You move on to the championship game, and there's going to be a tough opponent coming up. Central Catholic or Griffith, both ranked in Indiana State rankings at some spot or another. And it'll make for a great matchup. Crawfordsville's got just about everybody available to pitch, so it'll be a matter of coming down and getting some hits. So,
yeah, I look forward to a tough ball game. This week. To this point, Athenians 3-0, and they've all been really lopsided, 11-1, 10-0, 10-0. And probably not going to see that kind of a game in the championship. Now, if we do, we'll be fine with it.
We'll take
it. Really bona fide opponents for sure, whoever it will be.
Exactly. It'll be fun, and that's what makes this day so good, because you have 4 really, really good baseball teams, and no matter what happens, whether you're playing for third in your second place game or playing for the championship, you're going to see good opponents, and that just makes your team better at this early juncture of the season.
Right. Yeah. That what I heard some fans say, well, the Athenians only went 2-2 down Tennessee. I said, well, it's not exactly the same. It's not exactly like spring training from Major League Baseball, but there is that element of it. We're playing people down there and finding out who can do what, changing, some younger players in there, and so kind of that kind of thing. That's why we go down there, for Pete's sake. So,
and you go down early so that you don't have to grow. You don't have to learn. You have to learn in the mud. Because I talked to a couple coaches this week, especially a couple teams that are struggling. They have no practice time left because they're playing 2, 3, 4 games a week. There's no chance to work on their weaknesses.
Yes.
When you go down early, and don't interrupt your spring break and play, you have a chance. This team is just literally a week and a half, 2 weeks in front of everybody else because they played so many more games, and that's just a gigantic advantage as the season goes along. Because in addition to that, it's going to open up practice days somewhere else. Days when instead of having to play a third game this week, you can just play your 2 conference games and get some extra practice in, and that just makes you better down the road.
Well, we see Athletic Director Bryce Barton out there preparing for the game number 2, which we will not be doing, but I want to thank Justin and Jeff here getting us through this opening game today, and we hope that if you can't make it out to the ballpark, you'll be back with us. Right now, we think 6 o'clock this evening for championship game. Crawfordsville Athenians taking on, well, it'll either be Central Catholic or Griffith, and so we're looking forward to that. So until 6 o'clock this evening, this is Dan Weller for the rest of the crew saying good afternoon, good baseball.